What's up, FOA Squad? I'm Anthony, and welcome to our channel, Van Life East Coast. I hope that you guys are doing well out there. I got some good mail today. What a surprise. I actually was thinking about this a few days ago, and I went to my UPS box, which I hadn't been to in like 4 days, and there it was. I got my security deposit back from my apartment. Yay! Now, it's supposed to have been $1,035, but it was $910, which is still great. They always got to find something to deduct some money from, but there were 4 things that they said that, well, first of all, I left my mattress in there because I couldn't get that heavy thing out by myself. So they charged me $30 to get that out of there. And then they said that the bathroom was very dirty. They said that the refrigerator was very dirty. And they said that the stove and oven was very dirty. I was tired, y'all. I was tired. Man, I wasn't trying to be doing all that scrubbing and cleaning. But I'm happy with the $910, so good for that. All right, guys, so what I wanted to come on today and talk about, I wanted to answer 2 of the comments that were questions that were asked in the last video yesterday. And they both came from the same person. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Forgive me if I don't. Sheree. The 2 questions that she asked is, would I buy a plot of land and a tiny home? And the other question that Sheree asked was, would I stay longer in this lifestyle if I had an RV? So I'm going to tackle the question of the plot of land and the tiny home. First of all, tiny homes are expensive. The word tiny doesn't mean it's a tiny price tag. A tiny home, I'm going to take these glasses off because I am just seeing stuff. A tiny home, I don't care if you get the smaller size which you don't want the smaller size, but even if you choose to get the smaller size, it's a price tag to it, not only the building of it, but the things that you have to put into it. And I would not want to do that. And the second thing is a plot of land where on earth where I live that I would be able to put a tiny home and still be able to go to work. A plot of land and a tiny home would have to be in the proximity of my being able to continue to go to work. And there is definitely nothing in the area of where I work. Not that I'm familiar with all parts of the areas where I work, but, it would have to be near work. And I'm not talking about no hour and no 45-minute drive back and forth to work neither, because I'm not about all that driving and carrying on just to get back and forth to work. I am spoiled. I have a 15, 20-minute ride to work. Traffic is easy. Traffic is easy coming back home. And I'm spoiled, and I intend on keeping it like that. So that's not doable for me. That's not doable for me, And when I retire, maybe it's something to think about, because then I don't have to necessarily stay up in this area. I can, move to where I can get a decent plot of land and put something like a tiny home on it. The other part of that in my thought process is this. I don't want to save up a lot of money or a decent amount of money and then spend it on something big like a tiny home and or a plot of land to put that tiny home on. My mentality with the money that I'm saving now is that I'm holding on to that money, boy. It's gonna be hard pressed to get this money out of my pockets. You hear me? It's gonna be hard pressed to get this money that I am living in this car to be able to save this money. It is going to be hard pressed for me to let go of this money. And if I do let go of it, it's going to have to be for a very, very good reason. I don't want to end up having, yes, a plot of land and a tiny home, and that's it. And I'm house poor, And so I don't see that for me. I don't see the whole plot of land and the tiny home for me. And the other question that Sheree asks is, would I continue to do van life if I had RV? And I want to add to that question, an RV or something bigger than my car. I absolutely, I would, because the past 2 months, I love the money that I am able to save. I love the money that I'm able to save. Overtime seemed to not bother me as much because I know now it's going for a greater purpose, and it's not going for to help pay rent or to help pay the other expenses of an apartment. I know now that the overtime that I work is, most of that overtime is going into my savings account. So it's for a greater purpose. And I love where I am right now in terms of being able to save the majority of my money, my paychecks that I earn. So I would absolutely stay with it. And you know what, Sheree and everybody else and all of you guys out there, I would not mind staying with it. But the problem is this car. I cannot do it in this car. Now, if I still had my minivan and my minivan didn't go to heck, I would still be doing it, because now, more than, unlike the last time or the first time I did this in the minivan, now I'm really seeing the financial benefit of this lifestyle for me. I'm really seeing it. Whereas when I was in the minivan, I was seeing it, but I was seeing it really slow, because my goal back then was to pay off my debt, which I did. And then I turn around and buy this car. But I'm really seeing it now. Every other week, every paycheck that I get, I see it now, because I take a certain amount of that money, which is the majority of that paycheck, and put in my savings account. And that in itself motivates me to continue, or would motivate me to continue this lifestyle. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. This lifestyle to me right now, with the exception of my being in this car, it's okay. It's okay. I don't have any complaints about it right now, except this car. If I was in my minivan at this very moment, I would not be thinking about, not doing this lifestyle or ending this lifestyle next year as I am now. So yeah, I would definitely keep going. It's nice to put like 80% of your money into a savings account. It's nice that I only have about 3 or 4 primary bills, as opposed to 7 or 8 primary bills prior to moving into my car. It's a really, really great feeling to have. So I would definitely do it. And I thought about it. I thought, okay, how can I get rid of this car, get something different, and continue on? I thought about it, and there are only 2 scenarios that I would be able to get something different and continue on with this lifestyle. The first one is, yes, I can trade this car in. But the problem with that is I owe a lot on this car. I only had this car coming up March of next year. March of next year now. We still got 3 or 4 more months before we even get to March. 3 months. So, 4 months. So, it's a lot of money, and for me to go and trade this in, and they add on what I owe to another vehicle that I'm definitely going to have payments on, we're talking about a huge monthly expense, a huge payment. I could be possibly paying like $600 or $700 a month on this or the whatever vehicle that I get, and it makes sense to me in a little bit, and in a little bit it doesn't make sense for me to do that. Okay, let's hypothetically say that I do that. Let's say I go and I get one of the short versions of the high top vans, like one of the Ford, I think it's a Ford 250 or whatever. It's a high top, but it's short. Let's say hypothetically I go to Ford, I trade this in, I got damn near $15,000 left on this car, and that is tacked on to my monthly payment or whatever, Well, it actually wouldn't that be that bad, because you know what? Come to think of it, if I was to wait until March and I get my 20K, because I'm going to reach my 20K at the end of March sometime, or no later than April. Let's say I wait until April and I go to Ford out of curiosity, you know. I go to Ford, I got 20K in my savings now, and I go to them and I say, you know what, I want to trade this in and get one of the high top little Ford 250, you know, and my payment is $500, or even let's say $600, because you know you dreaming at $600. I might do that. Because you know what? I have 6 years to pay on anything. Because in 6 years, Anthony is done working, retired, and all of that. And I don't want to be owing anything past 6 years. So that scenario can actually work for me. You know, I got me a high top vehicle. I can build it out. And then, you know, I can put a decent amount of money down on it, you know. Good scenario. The other scenario is I can buy a used cargo van or a used minivan and have 2 vehicles. Now, I talked about this before, trying to manage 2 vehicles. What would it be like to try to manage 2 vehicles? But after I rethought it, it would not be that bad. It would not be that bad, because where I park now, I can very well park a second vehicle next to this car and no one would know the difference, you know, because I'm pretty good at finding parking spots and being unnoticed on those parking spots, you know. To me, parking is about knowing what to look for in a parking spot and being discreet. And I've done that pretty well, because if you remember when I left Baltimore and came up to Lancaster, I found this nice tree-lined street that was the main street going into different apartment they were the same complex, but they had apartment buildings on each side of this main street. I parked right on that tree-lined street. You know, I wasn't in front of nobody's building. I was on the street that led into the different buildings of this apartment complex. And I stayed in on that same street from May until October, until I got my apartment. So I'm pretty good at identifying a good parking spot. So it would be easy for me to, I'm not going to say easy, but it wouldn't be a problem for me to park my secondary vehicle right next to that vehicle and just alternate driving them, you know. So both scenarios, and trust me, before I made yesterday's video where I had made the decision to, you know, March, April, or May will be the end of it, I thought of these different scenarios and I thought, you know what, maybe not, I don't know. And honestly, I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. And some of you seem so happy that I'm getting out of this car. I don't know whether you're happy that I'm getting out of this car. I don't know if you would feel different if I was in something bigger, and you will root me on to continue the lifestyle or not. But some of you were like, yay, yes, get out of that damn car. I mean, would you be saying that if I was in something different and I was more comfortable and was able to do more, you know, daily things inside this vehicle? You know, let me know in the comments, you know, if I was to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to go for a bigger vehicle or a different vehicle, you know, and I'm going to continue this lifestyle, you know. I would love to, I would love to continue the lifestyle. I'm not even gonna lie. I would love it, because I'm motivated. Okay, let me take away a couple of those loves that I got a little carried away. I would like it a lot because I'm actually seeing the financial benefits. And that's what this whole thing I'm doing now is about. It's about gaining financial money, or freedom, so to speak, you know? So I would like it, you know, and I might come up on here, because y'all know me. I might come up on here and say, you know what? I bought a minivan. I bought a cargo van. But between the two different scenarios, I would rather wait until March, April, or May. Here I go again. May. Get my 20 grand. Take this car to a Ford or a ProMaster or whatever and trade it in. Put 10 grand down along with the trade in, because I know this is going to be and what I owe on this car would be a little less, because I still have 4 or 5, or will have about 6 months, you know, of paying, continuing to pay on this car. So I don't know. You know, I never thought of myself in a stand-up vehicle, but at the same time, if I'm going to make a run for it, why not make a run for it? You know, make a good run for it, you know? You know, could you imagine me having one of those little short stand-up vehicles, and you know, I'm just doing all the fixings inside of it to make it look so nice or whatever. Okay, let me stop, because I don't even have the skill set to do all that bullshit. Boy, I went into La La Land there for a minute. I was dreaming. I was dreaming it up there, wasn't I? Ooh, I see the vision, you know. So, you know, is that something you guys would love to see me in, one of those little, because every video I talk about this lifestyle, somebody say, you should just get a ProMaster, or you should just get, you know, this or that. Like it's that easy for me to go out and get one of those damn things, you know. Shoot. But the main concern about doing something and getting payments, like I said, is that I have 6 years to pay for something if I was to go that route. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling on. I am in such an amazing mood today, guys. Got my security deposit back, you know, and I'm chilling, about to go to work. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video. I hope that you guys, you know, I know sometimes I can just be a pain in the butt. You know, y'all don't know if I'm going to go left or right, up or down. But that's the beauty of life, you know. I'm still figuring shit out. Still figuring it out, you know. And I love the fact that I am still figuring it out and not settling down in one little mindset in one little place, you know. I'm going to keep on mind-boggling and figuring it out until I get to the perfect spot that satisfies me and where I want to be in my life. And with that being said, I thank you guys for taking a few minutes, or it's a lot of minutes, this video, for taking a lot of minutes out of your day to watch this video. As always, thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys very soon.